Echoes of the Forgotten, a spine-chilling saga of dark enigmas and unearthly encounters. Ivy Carter's heart raced as she drove into the sleepy town of Blackwood Hollow, a picturesque place nestled between lush green hills and dense forests. The sun was setting, casting long shadows on the streets and buildings as she made her way to her new home, an old Victorian mansion she had recently purchased, hoping to escape her tumultuous past and find peace. The grandiose mansion stood majestically at the end of a winding driveway, surrounded by towering trees and a sprawling lawn. Ivy couldn't help but marvel at its intricate architecture and the sense of history that emanated from its very walls. As she stepped out of her car, she took a deep breath, inhaling the fresh, earthy scent of her new surroundings. Ivy's determination to start anew fueled her as she unpacked her belongings and began to settle into her new home. She was eager to explore every nook and cranny of the house, to learn its secrets and make it her sanctuary. Each room offered a glimpse into a bygone era, with antique furniture, ornate fixtures, and dusty books that whispered stories of times long past. The kitchen, with its warm, welcoming atmosphere, soon became Ivy's favorite place in the house. As she cooked her first meal there, she imagined the generations of families who had shared their own meals and laughter within these walls. The thought brought her comfort and a feeling of belonging. Later that evening, Ivy ventured upstairs to her new bedroom. She pulled back the lace curtains and was instantly captivated by the view outside. The moon bathed the town below in a silvery glow, and Ivy could see the lights of the few remaining open businesses flickering in the distance. Exhausted from the day's events, Ivy sank into the soft embrace of her bed. She closed her eyes, letting her thoughts drift, her body relaxing into the unfamiliar but comforting space. As she drifted off to sleep, the house seemed to come alive around her, creaking and sighing as if it, too, was settling in for the night. Unbeknownst to Ivy, her arrival in Blackwood Hollow had set in motion a chain of events that would soon reveal the dark secrets hidden within the town and the mansion. This new beginning was more than just a fresh start, it was the beginning of an enthralling journey into a world of mystery, danger, and the supernatural. In the days that followed, Ivy gradually became acquainted with the quaint town of Blackwood Hollow and its friendly but reserved inhabitants. As she explored her new surroundings, she couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this place than met the eye. Her curiosity piqued, Ivy was determined to unravel the town's mysteries, starting with her own enigmatic mansion. The house seemed to have a life of its own, its walls echoing with the whispers of those who had once called it home. At first, Ivy dismissed the odd sounds as the house settling or the wind playing tricks, but as the days turned into nights, she couldn't ignore the sense of unease that grew within her. It started with the shadows. Darting out of the corners of her eyes, they vanished as soon as she turned to look at them. The whispers, too, became more frequent, barely audible voices that seemed to call her name in the dead of night. Ivy found herself waking up in a cold sweat, her heart pounding, and the whispers still ringing in her ears. Despite her growing fear, Ivy refused to be intimidated. Her journalistic instincts kicked in, and she began to research the history of her new home. She soon discovered that the mansion had a dark and tragic past, with many of its previous occupants meeting untimely and mysterious ends. In her quest for answers, Ivy ventured into the town's small but well-stocked library, where she met the enigmatic librarian, Evelyn, a woman who seemed to know more than she let on. As Ivy dug deeper into the mansion's history, Evelyn cautiously provided her with some of the missing pieces, including a cryptic warning, "Beware the whispers in the dark, for they carry the weight of a curse that's left its mark." Undeterred, Ivy continued her search, determined to discover the truth behind the eerie events in her home. She began to spend her evenings in the library, poring over old newspapers and dusty tomes, trying to piece together the puzzle that was the Blackwood Hollow mansion. As the shadows grew bolder and the whispers more insistent, Ivy couldn't help but feel that she was being watched, as if the very darkness that surrounded her was alive with secrets and malevolent intent. And yet, she couldn't shake the feeling that the truth she sought was just within her grasp, waiting to be revealed. With each new discovery, Ivy's resolve grew stronger. She would face the whispers in the dark, confront the shadows that haunted her, and uncover the chilling truth that lay hidden beneath the surface of Blackwood Hollow. And in doing so, she would come to realize that some secrets are best left buried in the dark corners of the past. As Ivy delved deeper into the town's history, she stumbled upon a chilling tale that sent shivers down her spine. It was the story of the Blackwood family, the original owners of the mansion she now called home. The Blackwoods had been a wealthy and influential family, but they were also surrounded by tragedy and misfortune. The town whispered about a curse that had befallen the family, one that seemed to stretch its icy fingers through the generations. The patriarch, Lord William Blackwood, was a successful businessman, but he was also known for his ruthless nature and his obsession with the occult. He had built the mansion on the site of an ancient pagan burial ground, believing that the location held great power. Rumors circulated that Lord Blackwood had made a deal with dark forces to secure his family's fortune, but at a terrible cost. The curse seemed to manifest itself in the lives of the Blackwood family members, with each generation suffering tragic losses and unexplained deaths. The most devastating event occurred when the last of the Blackwood line, a young girl named Abigail, was found dead in her room under mysterious circumstances. Her body was cold to the touch, her eyes wide open in terror, and strange symbols were carved into the wooden floorboards beneath her bed. The townspeople, fearful of the curse, whispered that the spirits of the Blackwoods were restless, trapped within the mansion and forced to relive their own tragic ends. Over time, the legend of the Blackwood family curse grew, and the mansion was left abandoned for decades, until Ivy unwittingly became its latest resident. As she read about the curse, Ivy couldn't shake the feeling that the strange occurrences in the mansion were somehow connected to the Blackwood family. Was it possible that the spirits of the Blackwoods were indeed haunting the house, unable to find peace? Determined to uncover the truth, Ivy decided to seek the assistance of a local historian, hoping to shed light on the dark secrets that surrounded her new home. As Ivy and the historian, Evelyn, began to unravel the mystery of the Blackwood family curse, they found themselves drawn deeper into a web of intrigue, deceit, and supernatural phenomena. Together, they would face the chilling truth that lay at the heart of the Blackwood family's tragic history and the curse that had plagued them for generations. In their quest to uncover the truth, Ivy and Evelyn would uncover long-forgotten secrets, confront terrifying apparitions, and risk their own lives to put an end to the curse that haunted the Blackwood Hollow mansion. But as they delved deeper into the darkness, they would soon discover that the curse was not the only danger they would face. The shadows were alive with secrets, and the whispers in the dark hid a malevolent force that would stop at nothing to protect its own sinister agenda. Ivy and Evelyn formed an unlikely alliance as they embarked on their journey to uncover the secrets buried within the Blackwood family's past. Their search led them to the dusty archives of the local museum and the diaries of the town's previous inhabitants, each providing a new piece to the puzzle that was the Blackwood family curse. As they dug deeper into the mystery, Ivy and Evelyn began to notice the townspeople's guarded expressions and evasive answers whenever the Blackwood family or the mansion was mentioned. It was as if an unspoken pact had been formed, a collective agreement to keep the family's dark history hidden from outsiders. Undeterred by the townspeople's resistance, Ivy and Evelyn continued their search, following the trail of clues that led them to an abandoned cemetery on the outskirts of town. There, they found the crumbling tombstones of the Blackwood family, their names worn away by time and weather. Among the graves, they discovered a hidden crypt, sealed shut and covered in vines. With trepidation, they forced open the crypt's heavy door, revealing a dark chamber filled with the remains of the Blackwood family. Ivy's heart pounded in her chest as she stepped inside, her flashlight illuminating the ancient coffins and the shadows that seemed to dance on the walls. It was here, among the dead, that Ivy and Evelyn found a hidden compartment containing a trove of the Blackwood family's personal belongings. As they sifted through the artifacts, Ivy stumbled upon a leather-bound journal, its pages yellowed and brittle with age. The journal belonged to Lord William Blackwood, and its contents sent a chill down Ivy's spine. The entries described his descent into madness, his obsession with the occult, and the deal he had struck with a malevolent force to secure his family's fortune. The price of this pact was the sacrifice of his own bloodline, a curse that would bring ruin to the Blackwood family for generations to come. As Ivy and Evelyn pieced together the horrifying truth behind the Blackwood family curse, they realized that they had uncovered more than just a tragic tale of a family's downfall. The malevolent force that Lord Blackwood had unleashed was still at work, its power growing stronger with each passing year. And it was this force that was responsible for the strange occurrences within the mansion, the restless spirits that haunted its halls, and the whispers that echoed in the dark. Determined to put an end to the curse and free the Blackwood family's tormented spirits, Ivy and Evelyn set out to confront the supernatural forces that lurked within the mansion. But as they prepared for the battle ahead, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, that the shadows were alive with secrets, and that the malevolent force they sought to vanquish was far more powerful and dangerous than they could have ever imagined. While Ivy and Evelyn continued their research, Ivy discovered a secret compartment in an old wooden trunk in the mansion's attic. Hidden inside was a tattered, leather-bound diary that belonged to Abigail Blackwood, the last of the Blackwood bloodline. Intrigued, Ivy and Evelyn began to read through the diary, hoping to find clues that might help them break the curse and put an end to the supernatural phenomena plaguing the mansion. Abigail's diary revealed a life filled with sorrow, fear, and isolation. Her writing detailed her attempts to understand the curse that haunted her family and the strange occurrences that seemed to follow her wherever she went. Abigail wrote of the shadows that seemed to come alive in the night and the whispers that echoed through the halls, warning her of the malevolent force that sought to claim her. As they read further, Ivy and Evelyn discovered that Abigail had been a brave and resourceful girl, determined to break the curse and free her family's spirits from their eternal torment. Abigail had dedicated her life to uncovering the secrets of the Blackwood curse, poring over her ancestors' journals, and studying ancient texts on the occult. One passage in Abigail's diary stood out to Ivy and Evelyn. It described a hidden chamber deep within the mansion, a place where Lord William Blackwood had conducted his dark rituals and forged the pact that brought the curse upon his family. Abigail believed that the key to breaking the curse lay within this chamber, but she had never been able to find it before her untimely death. Driven by a newfound determination, Ivy and Evelyn set out to locate the hidden chamber, following the cryptic clues left behind in Abigail's diary. Their search led them through secret passageways and hidden rooms, each filled with the remnants of the Blackwood family's dark past. Finally, after days of searching, they discovered the hidden chamber, concealed behind a bookcase in the mansion's library. As they stepped inside, the air grew cold, and the atmosphere heavy with an unseen presence. The chamber was filled with strange artifacts, ancient tomes, and a large, ornate altar covered in mysterious symbols. It was here, in this hidden chamber, that Ivy and Evelyn believed they would find the key to breaking the Blackwood family curse and freeing the tormented spirits that haunted the mansion. But as they began their search, they couldn't shake the feeling that the malevolent force they sought to vanquish was watching them, waiting for the right moment to strike and protect the dark secrets that had been hidden for generations. As Ivy and Evelyn delved into the mysteries of the hidden chamber, they found themselves overwhelmed by the complexity of the ancient rituals and symbols that surrounded them. Realizing they needed assistance in deciphering the secrets within the chamber, they reluctantly turned to the one person in town who seemed to know more about the supernatural than anyone else. Marcus, a reclusive and enigmatic figure who was rumored to have once been a practicing occultist. Despite the rumors and the townspeople's mistrust of Marcus, Ivy and Evelyn sought him out, hoping that his knowledge of the occult could help them break the Blackwood family curse. After much hesitation, Marcus agreed to help them, drawn by the tragic story of Abigail and the spirits trapped within the mansion. Together, the trio began to unravel the mysteries of the hidden chamber, deciphering the ancient symbols, and poring over the dark rituals that Lord William Blackwood had performed. As they delved deeper into the chamber's secrets, Marcus revealed that the malevolent force that haunted the mansion was an ancient entity, one that fed on the suffering and fear of the Blackwood family. To break the curse and free the trapped spirits, Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus would have to perform a powerful counter-ritual, one that would sever the connection between the entity and the Blackwood family bloodline. However, the ritual was not without risks, and they would need to prepare themselves for the possibility that the entity would fight back to protect its source of power. As they gathered the necessary materials for the ritual, Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus formed an unlikely bond, brought together by their shared desire to right the wrongs of the past and restore peace to the Blackwood Hollow mansion. Each of them had their own reasons for wanting to put an end to the curse. Ivy sought to reclaim her new home from the darkness that enveloped it. Evelyn wanted to protect the town she loved from the malevolent force that lurked within its borders, and Marcus sought redemption for his own past involvement in the occult. The night of the ritual arrived, and Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus stood within the hidden chamber, surrounded by flickering candles and the haunting shadows cast upon the walls. With their hearts pounding and their nerves on edge, they began to recite the incantations and perform the intricate steps of the counter-ritual. As the ritual progressed, the air within the chamber grew heavy, and the temperature plummeted. The malevolent entity, sensing the threat to its power, began to lash out, the shadows twisting and writhing like living creatures. The trio pressed on, their voices growing stronger as they neared the climax of the ritual. The battle between the living and the supernatural raged on, with the fate of the Blackwood family's tormented spirits hanging in the balance. Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus would soon discover if their efforts were enough to break the curse and put an end to the dark legacy that had haunted the Blackwood Hollow mansion for generations. As Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus reached the final stages of the counter-ritual, the air in the hidden chamber crackled with energy, and the shadows seemed to recoil in fear. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light filled the room, followed by an otherworldly scream that echoed through the mansion. The trio braced themselves, unsure of what would come next. When the dust settled, the atmosphere in the chamber had changed. The oppressive darkness that once filled the room had dissipated, replaced by a sense of calm and tranquility. It seemed as if their efforts to break the Blackwood family curse had succeeded. With the curse seemingly broken, the spirits of the Blackwood family began to find peace, and the haunting phenomena that had plagued the mansion began to fade. Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus breathed a collective sigh of relief, grateful that their dangerous endeavor had brought closure to the tormented souls of the Blackwoods. But as they celebrated their victory, a haunting revelation came to light. In the final pages of Abigail's diary, they discovered a chilling prophecy. The one who broke the curse would inherit the malevolent force that had once haunted the Blackwood family. This dark entity would lay dormant within its new host, waiting for an opportunity to strike and unleash its power once again. The trio was horrified by the discovery, unsure of who among them had become the unwilling host to the ancient entity. Fear and suspicion threatened to tear apart the bonds they had formed, as each wrestled with the possibility that they could now be the one carrying the darkness within them. Determined to put an end to the cycle of suffering, Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus set out to find a way to exorcise the malevolent force from its new host. They knew that their journey would be fraught with danger, as they delved deeper into the world of the supernatural in search of a solution. Together, the unlikely allies embarked on a new quest, one that would take them far beyond the borders of Blackwood Hollow and into the realm of the unknown. With each step, they hoped to rid themselves of the darkness that threatened their lives and finally put an end to the tragic legacy that had haunted the Blackwood family for generations. And so, the saga of the Blackwood Hollow mansion continued, with Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus forging ahead into the darkness, guided by their unwavering resolve and the hope that they could one day break free from the malevolent force that had brought them together. Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus embarked on their perilous journey to rid themselves of the malevolent force now lurking within one of them. Their search led them to a reclusive scholar who specialized in ancient rituals and supernatural entities. Upon hearing their story, the scholar revealed the existence of a mystical place known as the Shadow's Labyrinth, an interdimensional plane where the malevolent force originated. The scholar explained that, to truly banish the dark entity, they would need to enter the Shadow's Labyrinth and confront it at its source. However, he warned them that the labyrinth was a treacherous place, filled with illusions, puzzles, and traps designed to ensnare those who dared to enter. The trio accepted the risks, their determination to put an end to the ancient entity's reign of terror outweighing their fears. With the scholar's guidance, Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus prepared for their journey into the Shadow's Labyrinth, gathering the necessary tools and knowledge to face the trials that awaited them. As they delved into the labyrinth, they found themselves confronted by a world that defied logic and reason, where the laws of reality seemed to bend and twist at the entity's will. Navigating the labyrinth proved to be a harrowing ordeal, as the trio faced mind-bending riddles, illusions that preyed upon their deepest fears, and nightmarish creatures summoned from the depths of the entity's twisted imagination. With each challenge they overcame, the bond between Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus grew stronger, their shared experiences forging a connection that transcended their previous mistrust and uncertainty. As they delved deeper into the labyrinth, the trio began to unravel the ancient entity's history, learning of its origins as a being born from the darkest recesses of human fear and suffering. They discovered that the entity's power had grown over the centuries, as it fed upon the tormented souls it had ensnared within its web of darkness. And now, the entity sought to extend its reach, using its new host as a vessel to spread its influence throughout the world. Determined to put an end to the entity's reign of terror, Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus prepared for the final confrontation within the heart of the Shadow's Labyrinth. Armed with the knowledge they had gathered and the strength of their newfound bond, the trio faced the malevolent force, their wills unbending in the face of darkness. The battle that followed would test the limits of their courage, their friendship, and their resolve. But as they fought to banish the ancient entity and free themselves from its grasp, the trio discovered that the power to overcome the darkness lay not in ancient rituals or mystic artifacts, but in the unbreakable bonds of love, trust, and friendship that they had forged along the way. As Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus reached the heart of the Shadow's labyrinth, they encountered the malevolent force in its true form, an ever-shifting mass of darkness that seemed to pulsate with the energy of all the tormented souls it had consumed over the centuries. They knew that the final confrontation was at hand and that they must act quickly to banish the entity and free the host among them. Drawing upon the knowledge they had gathered during their journey, the trio devised a plan to perform a dark ritual that would sever the connection between the entity and its host. This ritual, however, required a great sacrifice, one that could very well cost them their lives. Despite the risks, Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus agreed to perform the ritual, knowing that it was the only way to save themselves and prevent the entity from further spreading its darkness. With steely determination, the trio began to chant the incantations of the dark ritual, their voices echoing through the labyrinth as they called upon the power of ancient symbols and artifacts. The malevolent force, sensing its imminent demise, lashed out with all its might, its tendrils of darkness seeking to consume the three friends and bind them to its will forever. As the ritual progressed, Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus found their strength waning, their bodies and minds pushed to the brink of collapse by the relentless onslaught of the malevolent force. Yet, they clung to the bond that had brought them this far, their unwavering faith in one another giving them the courage to face the darkness. With one final surge of effort, the trio completed the dark ritual, a blinding flash of light enveloping the heart of the Shadow's labyrinth. The malevolent force let out an ear-shattering scream, its form disintegrating as the energy that had once sustained it was ripped away, leaving nothing but an empty void in its wake. Exhausted and battered, Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus emerged from the Shadow's labyrinth, the bond between them now stronger than ever. They had succeeded in banishing the malevolent force, freeing the host among them and ensuring that the entity's reign of terror had come to an end. As they returned to Blackwood Hollow, the trio was greeted with a newfound sense of peace, both within the mansion and throughout the town. The spirits of the Blackwood family, finally freed from their eternal torment, were able to find rest, their tragic legacy put to rest. Though their journey had been fraught with danger and sacrifice, Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus had emerged victorious, their friendship a testament to the power of love and trust in the face of darkness. As they began to rebuild their lives, the trio knew that they would forever carry with them the lessons they had learned and the bonds they had forged within the Shadow's labyrinth, a constant reminder of the light that can be found even in the darkest of places. Despite the victory over the malevolent force, life in Blackwood Hollow did not return to normal as quickly as Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus had hoped. Rumors and whispers spread through the town about their journey into the Shadow's labyrinth, stoking the embers of fear and suspicion among the townspeople. Many viewed the trio with apprehension, unsure of whether they had truly vanquished the darkness or brought it back with them. As the atmosphere in the town grew increasingly tense, the trio realized they could not simply ignore the concerns of the townspeople. They decided to confront the fears and suspicions head-on, arranging a town meeting to share their story and set the record straight. With the entire town gathered, Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus recounted their harrowing journey into the Shadow's labyrinth and the dark ritual that had ultimately vanquished the malevolent force. They spoke openly and honestly about the sacrifices they had made and the bond they had forged in the face of adversity. As they told their story, the mood among the townspeople began to shift. Fear and suspicion gave way to awe and admiration as the people of Blackwood Hollow came to understand the courage and resilience of the trio that had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. The town meeting also provided an opportunity for the townspeople to confront their own fears and prejudices. Many realized that the darkness that had once plagued the Blackwood family was not unique to them, but rather a reflection of the fear and suffering that exists within all of humanity. In the end, the confrontation between the trio and the townspeople led to a newfound sense of unity and understanding within Blackwood Hollow. The town slowly began to heal, the wounds of the past gradually fading as the people came together to forge a brighter future. As for Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus, their friendship had been tested and strengthened by their extraordinary journey. They continued to support and rely on one another as they navigated the challenges of life in Blackwood Hollow, their bond a constant reminder of the strength that can be found when love, trust, and friendship triumph over fear and darkness. As the years passed, the tale of the trio's journey into the Shadow's labyrinth and their victory over the malevolent force became the stuff of legend. The story was passed down through generations, a testament to the power of hope, resilience, and the unbreakable bonds of friendship that can conquer even the darkest of forces. Years after the confrontation with the malevolent force, Blackwood Hollow continued to flourish under the protective gaze of Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus. The once haunted mansion had been transformed into a beacon of hope, a symbol of triumph over the darkness that had once threatened the town. As the years passed, the trio had grown older, and their once youthful faces now bore the marks of time. Yet, their bond remained unbroken, the love and trust they shared standing firm against the relentless passage of time. One day, as Ivy walked through the mansion's library, she stumbled upon a hidden, dusty tome that had long been forgotten. The ancient pages whispered with echoes of a past she thought she had left behind. The book contained cryptic passages and rituals related to the malevolent force they had defeated years ago. Concerned by the implications of her discovery, Ivy shared the tome with Evelyn and Marcus, who both felt a chilling sense of foreboding as they examined its pages. They realized that their victory over the malevolent force, though monumental, had not been the final chapter of their story. The tome revealed that while they had banished the entity, its essence had been scattered, leaving behind faint echoes of the darkness that had once plagued the Blackwood family. These echoes, though weak and fragmented, had the potential to resurface and wreak havoc if left unchecked. Realizing the threat that these echoes posed, Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus decided to investigate the extent of the forgotten darkness. They retraced their steps from their previous journey, seeking out any signs of the malevolent force's lingering presence. Their investigation led them to places they had long forgotten, revealing that the darkness had left its mark on the world in subtle and insidious ways. While the trio had grown older, their resolve remained as strong as ever. They set out to eliminate the remnants of the malevolent force, determined to ensure that the darkness could never again take root and threaten their beloved town. As they ventured forth on this new quest, Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus were reminded of the strength of their bond, a bond forged in the fires of adversity and tempered by time. They understood that the echoes of the past could never truly be silenced, but that the power of love, friendship, and trust would always guide them through the darkness and into the light. And so, the legend of the Blackwood Hollow trio continued, a tale of courage, resilience, and the unbreakable bonds that bind us all in our shared journey through the shadows of the forgotten. As Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus embarked on their new quest to extinguish the lingering echoes of the malevolent force, they discovered that their bond was more potent than they could have ever imagined. The love, trust, and friendship they shared had evolved into a powerful force, capable of dispelling even the darkest of shadows. As the trio traversed the places where the darkness had left its mark, they found themselves facing familiar challenges and fears that had once plagued their journey into the shadows' labyrinth. Yet, with each echo they confronted and banished, their connection grew even stronger, proving that the true strength of their bond lay in their unwavering dedication to one another. With the darkness gradually fading from their path, Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus began to see the impact of their actions on the world around them. The places once tainted by the malevolent force's presence began to heal, the veil of fear and despair lifting to reveal a renewed sense of hope and wonder. Inspired by the transformation they had witnessed, the trio decided to share their newfound wisdom with the people of Blackwood Hollow. They dedicated themselves to teaching the townspeople the importance of love, trust, and friendship, showing them that the power to banish the darkness lay within each and every one of them. Over time, Blackwood Hollow became a beacon of light, a shining example of the power of unity and the resilience of the human spirit. The once fearful townspeople learned to embrace their fears and stand together in the face of adversity, their collective strength creating a protective shield against the darkness. With each passing day, Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus watched as their beloved town flourished, the people coming together to celebrate the light that they had helped to ignite. The trio knew that the echoes of the malevolent force would never be completely silenced, but they also understood that the power to overcome the darkness lay not in ancient rituals or mystic artifacts, but in the unbreakable bonds of love, trust, and friendship that they had forged along the way. And so, the story of the Blackwood Hollow trio drew to a close, their legacy living on in the hearts of the people they had inspired. The tale of their journey would be passed down through generations, a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity and the light that can be found even in the darkest of places. With the echoes of the forgotten banished and the darkness held at bay, Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus finally found peace. They knew that their time together would one day come to an end, But they also understood that the bonds they had forged would endure, a shining light that would guide the people of Blackwood Hollow through the darkness for generations to come. Years after the triumph over the echoes of the forgotten, the legend of Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus lived on in the hearts and minds of the people of Blackwood Hollow. The trio had grown old, their once youthful faces now etched with the wisdom and experiences of a lifetime spent in love, friendship, and trust. Though Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus eventually passed on, the light they had ignited within the people of Blackwood Hollow never dimmed. Their legacy continued to inspire future generations, a constant reminder of the strength that can be found when love, trust, and friendship triumph over fear and darkness. The once ominous Blackwood mansion had become a symbol of hope and a monument to the power of human resilience. It now served as a community center, where the people of Blackwood Hollow gathered to celebrate their unity and share the stories of their ancestors. As the years turned into decades and the decades into centuries, new generations of the Blackwood family were born and raised in the town that bore their name. The curse that had once plagued their family was now nothing more than a distant memory, a tale told to remind the young of the importance of friendship and the power of love to conquer darkness. In time, new heroes emerged, following in the footsteps of the legendary trio. They faced their own challenges and adversities, forging their own unbreakable bonds and shining their own light in the darkness. And as they did, they discovered that the story of Ivy, Evelyn, and Marcus was not an ending, but a beginning, a spark that ignited a flame of hope and courage that would burn brightly for generations to come. In the end, the tale of the Blackwood Hollow trio became an enduring testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity, a story of new beginnings that would echo throughout the ages, inspiring countless others to stand together against the darkness and embrace the light that lies within them all.